15 moments Cobra spits venom trying to kill Mongoose when dissected. Mongoose versus snake. Cobra versus Mongoose. Eating the African cobra's predators include kites and iguanas. The mongoose is the Asian cobra's #1 predator. This animal is not only agile and smart, but it is also impervious to snake venom. It is difficult to get away with a murderer like this without getting harmed. Everyone knows that mongooses are natural enemies of snakes. In the presence of venomous snakes, the mongoose sniffs to locate the venomous snake. Predators' cobras are constantly counterattacking with deadly venom. The size of this snake is clearly superior to that of the mongoose. Do you believe this snake can defeat the mongoose to escape once the prey has been captured? The mongoose has sharp teeth in its mouth that allow it to attack snakes and other reptiles with courage. The snake must lift its head to avoid the dangerous hit. Crocodiles versus snake. Crocodiles rarely consume fish and small mammals, but they are not limited to this diet. Some crocodiles will also consume larger species, crustaceans, frogs, snakes, and turtles, and possibly other crocodiles. The python slithers freely along a crocodile-infested river, and it should have been more cautious. Crop pursues the snake, resulting in a water-splashing battle that kills the snake. Did you know that all snakes can swim? This capacity is not limited to marine snakes. A snake swims nonchalantly by a voracious alligator. Suddenly, the gator launches at the snake, and the two critters go underwater. After a while, the larger reptile resurfaces, but the snake is nowhere to be found. Alligators are successful predators that almost all creatures fear. However, it appears that snakes' genetic composition does not include a fear of alligators. A moccasin snake is perilously close to an alligator. The predator watches its prey, waiting for the right moment to strike. In an astonishing display of explosiveness, the gator grabs the snake's tail and stuns it by aggressively shaking the reptile from side to side. Honey badger versus snake. The honey badger is one of nature's most tenacious little animals. Unlike other snake killers who try to avoid being bitten, the honey badger confronts the snake head-on and takes their venomous strikes like a champ. But the snake realizes that the honey badger is not backing down. It tries to flee the scene, but the aggressor pulls the reptile back and finally bites down on the snake's head, immobilizing it. A few predators will take on a python, and the honey badger is one of them. The badger spots a large snake on a tree and climbs after it. The snake is lethargic, and the aggressor takes advantage of this by biting the larger adversary multiple times. Honey badgers are thick-skinned beasts. I don't mean they're immune to insults. They literally have the thickest skin of any animal their size. When two jackals join in on the action, the once mighty python becomes a prize to be won by the badger and jackals eyeing the bee prey. The jackals attempt to rob the badger of the snake. Python versus another snake. As constrictors, Pithuns apply pressure that prevents their prey from breathing. When the prey exhales, the constrictor tightens its coils to fill the space left behind, eventually causing the prey to die from suffocation. Because the python can feel its prey's heartbeat, it waits until it stops before uncoiling to start eating. A python has tried to constrict a king cobra, but constrictor pythons can hinge their jaws to swallow larger prey, usually starting with the head to maximize the amount of space available in the mouth. The joints in the skull can bend and fold, and the skin is extremely flexible, enabling the animal to consume large pieces of food without difficulty. The predator injects lethal doses of venom into the black snake. A king cobra inspects the reticulated python, the longest snake in the world. While pythons are not snake eaters, they are not immune from being preyed upon by semi-cannibals like king cobras because their target is more tame. The predator stares at the mammoth creature in its presence before deciding that this is not a battle that it wants to start. Pythons can consume rodents, birds, lizards, and even mammals like monkeys, wallabies, pigs, and antelope. All of the two snakes engage in combat using constriction and venom. Mongoose versus Cobra. Although the victory was not straightforward, the bird displayed incredible boldness and courage to defend himself and his territory by flying close and piercing a sharp beak into the snake's eye. This attack caused the snake to lose sight and direction, allowing the bird to continue attacking and destroy the threat. While the mother bird was seeking for food, her babies were ambushed by a foreign creature that slowly ate them because little birds are snakes' favorite diet. It's terrifying to see them all at once. Hawks are one of the horrors of snake struggle, but its resistance was futile. The power of a hawk far exceeds that of a snake. In the end, the snake had to surrender the power of the bird of prey and suffered a tragic end foreign. They can see their prey at a distance. The hawk soars in the sky and looks down at the vast ocean below, spotted a poisonous sea snake floating on the water and quickly plunged down honey badger versus mongoose. This video shows that despite the mongoose's fearless and lethal hunting approach, it cannot compete with honey badgers. When a honey badger is done eating, there will be almost little sign of the mongoose that we can see being devoured by the badger. Everyone knows how insane honey badgers are, but the mongoose is no slouch either. I'm sure a honey badger would crush a mongoose one-on-one like you saw in the previous video. But what about an entire colony of mongooses chasing a honey badger like we saw in this video? The honey badger is wise and realizes it is outnumbered 20-1, so it hops along and departs the area. When the mongooses watch the honey badger leave, they do not persist, since they realize a fight with the insane animal is not worth it, even though there are 20 of them. Snake versus deer. Once its prey has been trapped, the snake can take its time eating a deer is being devoured by this huge python. A python kills its prey by wrapping its coils around it and squeezing it until it can't breathe any longer, yet it takes time to consume its meal. The deer will be eaten head first, since it is much easier that way. It looks like this deer went for a walk on the wrong side of town, but it was lucky enough to be saved by a kind man that decided to hit a snake with a tree branch so the deer could escape. Snake venom is potent, and you can see what I mean in this video after a venomous snake strikes an unsuspecting deer, and even though the deer gets away, it's only a matter of time before it crumbles to the ground and dies. Snake versus mongoose. Toxins in the snake's venom bind to chemical receptors in the bodies of victims, preventing nerve and muscle communication. Because mongoose receptors have altered, venom simply bounces off their muscle cells. The mongoose's way of exhausting its prey is the dance circles around its final shot is a death blow in one swift snap. The spine is separated from the back of the head. The snake isn't dead, but it has become immobile. For the mongoose, the gain outweighs the risk. A 7-foot snake is a hearty meal for a pint-sized predator. In Cobra National Park, a dwarf mongoose fights a deadly opponent, a black mamba snakes, which may reach lengths of up to 4.5 meters, are the most feared snakes in Africa. The hiss of death is a term used to describe the death that can result from a bite. The mongoose was thought to be trying to keep the snake away from its barrel, because nearby mongooses are known to eat rats, birds, and snakes. But this massive black mamba isn't your average meal. This pet mongoose discovers a Cape cobra in its house and challenges it. Cobra should flee as soon as possible, because the mongoose is a snake killer. The only problem is that it must get past the mongoose. First, the cobra escapes and heads for the open field as soon as it gets outdoors, but the mongoose pursues. It tries to get the best of it. Look at this mongoose battling a big cobra. The snake is particularly frightening as it tries to bite the mongoose repeatedly. The mongoose scrambled out of there, and I'm not sure if the snake hit it with the last strike. Snake versus leopard. A python's approach to its prey is significantly less messy than the feeding habits of a pride of lions, for example, because snakes can reduce the strain placed on their prey and the risk of injury to themselves. Taking on a powerhouse like a leopard will not be easy. In contrast to their close relatives, the two predators struggle to gain the upper hand in the fight, with the leopard flinging lethal claws at the reptile and the python unable to lock in a constriction coil. Egg layers are Pithun's. A few Pithuns, they may be placed in very shallow nests, while some will cover them with leaves and soil. Most python moms keep their coils around their eggs to protect them while they develop. If the temperature drops too low, several species mothers will shiver to warm their eggs. A python and a leopard engage in a process known as thermogenesis. Clash on the brink of a river. The python first maintains its ground, but the leopard quickly takes it. While Pithuns are known to swallow massive prey, they rarely assault huge cats. The reason for this is that large cats are incredibly agile, responding quickly, and Pithuns are unlikely to catch them as opportunistic predators. Leopards have been observed actively chasing down Pithuns. When a python is at the mercy of a voracious leopard, the leopard strikes the snake with keen claws. The snake. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.